It's all about wisdom that's worth knowing, meaning that information is nice, but it has to be worth knowing. Worth knowing means it was worth it for me to seek that information, and I have value in owning it. That it gives me the ability to one day implement that. Implementation of wisdom you don't own is a physical impossibility. You can't make it real unless it starts real. You have that intelligence. So here it's about wisdom that's worth knowing. I'm going to share with you over this series a really important idea. You'll see how it develops. And it's so practical because the elephant in the room of our generation is that we're not as happy as we thought we'd be. We are not as happy as we thought we'd be. That's not just an opinion from here to Murray Hill and a little bit wide. It's not just our opinion. It's the opinion of all social scientists and psychologists today. The field of positive psychology, of Martin Seligman, Shawn Achor, Tal Ben-Shahar, are all honing in on one thing, that even though we've become wealthier since 1960, depression has increased by tenfold. The average age of depression in 1960 was 29. The average onset of depression in our generation is 14 and a half. That's something that's real. And so the largest class in Harvard history was positive psychology, and everybody asked, Shawn Achor especially said, how could people in Harvard be interested in happiness? I mean, you got to Harvard, you made it to the top. What's there not to be happy about? But he saw that achievement was not only the key to happiness. When maybe America was in a slump during the Depression era, if I only had money, then I'd be happy. But we have the money, and yet we're not as happy as we would like to be. So the radical change that we're in the midst of is this realm called positive psychology, that Martin Seligman said, why are we studying how to make miserable, sick people less miserable and less sick? Let's take healthy, normal people and make them better. Let them have a happier and better life. And that really started the whole social science of positive psychology. And on the positive, even though we live in a more depressed generation, but we're also finding out scientifically that our brains and our minds and our lives are much more malleable than we thought, that we could actually change them, that we're empowered to change. Now, as Jews, from a historical perspective, we often have the feeling of, that's what I was trying to tell you the whole time. That's what we've been saying the whole time. That what we knew all along in Judaism as Jews was exactly that point. And this series is an experiment in which I'm going to take one concept, one view of the Jews and how we wake up in the morning, and you will see the consilience, the connection between everything that modern science is saying and what we've known all along. And as we strip through the layers of how Jews wake up, I think you'll see this theory confirmed. That's the idea. And the practical part of it is the following. The beginning ultimately sets the tone for the rest. How you start your day sets the tone for the rest of the day. So all of us that are in pursuit, there's nobody on earth that could say, completely happy, never been happy before. I've never been happier, and this is fine. We all know it. It's a question of whether or not we admit it and how we verbalize it. But we all know there's work to be done. Not just in speed and in access, there's work to be done on ourselves. And the first area that's relevant to is this thing called mornings. Mornings, a begrudging reality that us as belated teenagers fight and resist and go with, but really what we're missing is a huge opportunity to change the whole day by changing the way we wake up. And where are we going to see that from? From Judaism, from the Jews. Because the Jews have something called the Siddur, roughly translated or poorly translated as a prayer book. But really what it is, Siddur comes from the word Seder, which means the order. The order of the day. This is how we wake up. This is our attitude towards waking up. Now, you could say, who are you to tell me an attitude towards waking up? Why are the Jewish people concerned the way I wake up? So the concept is that our goal in general is we want to live on purpose, not in reaction. And most of us, or most of our friends, live in reaction. Oh, the alarm clock's ringing. Oh, I have to make the train. Oh, I have to go to work. We are being dragged by the day. But the goal is I want to live intentionally. I want to live on purpose. And I can live on purpose, and I can live on purpose with advice. Meaning anyone who's successful in any field that they're in had a mentor, somebody that gave them advice. This is how you do it. And so to us as Jews, we have mentors. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to take the advice that we've received and implement it in a positive way. The concept of a siddur is, this is how we wake up. This is what we do in the morning. And the first part of that siddur is the view of the morning, which is the following struggle. I'm going to wake up the day will not wake me up. I own my day. I own it. I'm going to wake up with a sense of enthusiasm. And that enthusiasm, although first might be habitual, become part of my reality.